Good morning. I'm going to start with a prayer by Bahá'u'lláh for unity. Oh my God, oh my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor, and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, leave them not to themselves, but guide their steps by the light of thy knowledge, and cheer their hearts by thy love. Verily, thou art their helper and their Lord. And a prayer by Baha'u'lláh for healing. Thy name is my healing, O my God, and remembrance of thee is my remedy. Nearness to thee is my hope, and love for thee is my companion. Thy mercy to me is my healing and my succor, in both this world and in the world to come. Thou verily art the all-bountiful, the all-knowing, the all-wise. And this is one of my favorite prayers by Baha'u'lláh. Many a chilled heart, O my God, hath been set ablaze by the fire of thy cause, and many a slumberer hath been wakened by the sweetness of thy voice. How many the strangers who have sought shelter beneath the shadow of the tree of thy oneness, and how numerous the thirsty ones who have panted after the fountain of thy living waters in thy days. Blessed is he who hath set himself towards thee, and hastened to attain the dayspring of the lights of thy face. Blessed is he who with all his affections hath turned toward the dawning place of thy revelation and the fountainhead of thine inspiration. Blessed is he who hath expended in thy path what thou didst bestow upon him through thy bounty and favor. Blessed is he who in his sore longing after thee hath cast away aught else except thyself. Blessed is he who hath enjoyed intimate communion with thee and detached himself from everything except thee. I beseech thee, O my God, by thy name, by him who is thy name, who through the power of thy sovereignty hath risen above the horizon of his prison. to ordain for everyone what becometh thee, and beseemeth thine exaltation. Thy might and truth is equal to all things. Here's a prayer for protection by the Bab. Glory be to thee, O God. Thou art the God who hath existed before all things, who will exist after all things, and will last beyond all things. Thou art the God who knoweth all things, and is supreme over all things. Thou art the God who dealeth mercifully with all things, who judgeth between all things, and whose vision embraceth all things. Thou art God, my Lord. Thou art aware of my position. Thou dost witness my inner and outer being. Grant thy forgiveness unto me, and unto the believers who responded to thy call. Be thou my sufficing helper against the mischief of whosoever may desire to inflict sorrow upon me or wish me ill. Verily, thou art the Lord of all created things. Thou dost suffice everyone, while no one can be self-sufficient without thee. And this is by Bahá'u'lláh. In his name, the exalted, the all-highest, the most sublime, glorified art thou, O Lord my God. O thou who art my God and my Master, and my Lord and my support and my hope, and my refuge and my light. I ask of thee by thy hidden and treasured name, which none knoweth save thine own self, to protect the bearer of this tablet from every calamity and pestilence, and from every wicked man and woman, from the evil of the evildoers, and from the scheming of the unbelievers. Preserve him, moreover, O my God, from every pain and vexation. O thou who holdest in thy hand the empire of all things, thou truly art powerful over all things. Thou doest as thou willest, and ordainest as thou pleasest. O thou King of kings, O thou kind Lord, O thou source of ancient bounty, of grace, of generosity and bestowal, O thou healer of sicknesses, O thou sufficer of needs, O thou light of light, O thou light above all lights, O thou revealer of every manifestation, O thou the compassionate, O thou the merciful. Do thou have mercy upon the bearer of this tablet through thy most great mercy and thine abundant grace. O thou the gracious, thou the bounteous. Guard him, moreover, through thy protection from whatsoever his heart and mind may find repugnant. Of those endued with power, thou verily art the most powerful. The glory of God rest upon thee, O thou rising sun. Do thou testify unto that which God hath testified of his own self, that there is none other God besides him, the Almighty, the best beloved. Another prayer by Bahá'u'lláh. Glorified art thou, O Lord my God. I implore thee by the onrushing winds of thy grace, and by them who are the day springs of thy purpose, and the dawning places of thine inspiration, to send down upon me, and upon all that have sought thy face, that which beseemeth thy generosity and bountiful grace, and is worthy of thy bestowals and favors. Poor and desolate I am, O my Lord. Immerse me in the ocean of thy wealth. Athirst, suffer me to drink from the living waters of thy loving kindness. I beseech thee by thine own self, and by him whom thou hast appointed as the manifestation of thine own being, and thy discriminating word unto all that are in heaven and on earth, to gather together thy servants beneath the shade of the tree of thy gracious providence. Help them then to partake of its fruits, to incline their ears to the rustling of its leaves, and to the sweetness of the voice of the bird that chanteth upon its branches. Thou art verily the help in peril, the inaccessible, the Almighty, the most bountiful. This is a prayer by Abdul-Baha. It's one of my favorites. He is the compassionate, the all-bountiful. O God, my God, thou seest me, thou knowest me. Thou art my haven and my refuge. None have I sought, nor any will I seek save thee. No path have I trodden, nor any will I tread, but the path of thy love. In the darksome night of despair, my eye turneth expectant and full of hope to the morn of thy boundless favor. And at the hour of dawn, my drooping soul is refreshed and strengthened in remembrance of thy beauty and thy perfection. He whom the grace of thy mercy aideth, though he be but a drop, shall become the boundless ocean. And the merest atom, which the outpourings of thy loving kindness assisteth, shall shine, even as the radiant star. Shelter under thy protection, O thou Spirit of purity, thou the all-bountiful provider, this enthralled enkindled servant of thine. Aid him in this world of being to remain steadfast and firm in thy covenant and testament. And grant that this broken-winged bird attain a refuge and shelter in thy divine nest. That abideth upon the celestial tree. And now I'm going to read a few prayers regarding tests and difficulties. I think I'm going to chant this one. O thou, whose tests are a healing medicine to such as are nigh unto thee, whose sword is the ardent desire of all them that love thee, whose star is the dearest wish of those hearts that yearn after thee, whose decree is the soul of them that have recognized thy truth. I implore thee, by thy divine sweetness, and by the splendors of the glory of thy face, to send down upon us from thy retreats on high that which will enable us to draw nigh unto thee. Set then our feet firm, O my God, in thy cause, and enlighten our hearts with the effulgence of thy knowledge, and illumine our breasts with the brightness of thy name. From the Hidden Words, from the Persian number 28. O essence of desire. At many a dawn have I turned from the realms of the placeless unto thine abode, and found thee on the bed of ease, busied with others than myself. Thereupon, even as the flash of the Spirit, I returned to the realms of celestial glory and breathed it not in my retreats above unto the hosts of holiness. O Son of Bounty, out of the wastes of nothingness, with the clay of my command, I made thee to appear, and have ordained for thy training every atom in existence, and the essence of all created things. Thus, ere thou didst issue from thy mother's womb, I destined for thee 2 founts of gleaming milk, eyes to watch over thee, and hearts to love thee. Out of my loving kindness, 'neath the shade of my mercy, I nurtured thee and guarded thee by the essence of my grace and favor. And my purpose in all this was that thou mightest attain my everlasting dominion and become worthy of my invisible bestowals. And yet heedless didst thou remain, and when fully grown, thou didst neglect all my bounties, and occupy thyself with thine idle imaginings, in such wise that thou didst become wholly forgetful, and turning away from the portals of the friend, didst abide within the courts of my enemy. O bond slave of the world, many a dawn hath the breeze of my loving kindness wafted over thee, and found thee upon the bed of heedlessness, fast asleep. Bewailing then thy plight, it returned whence it came. O Son of Earth, wouldst thou have me, seek none other than me. And wouldst thou gaze upon my beauty, close thine eyes to the world and all that is therein. For my will and the will of another than me, even as fire and water, cannot dwell together in one heart. Oh, befriended stranger, the candle of thine heart is lighted by the hand of my power. Quench it not with the contrary winds of self and passion. The healer of all thine ills is remembrance of me. Forget it not. Make my love thy treasure and cherish it even as thy very sight and life. We're going to begin looking at Bahá'u'llah's letter to Queen Victoria in the 1860s. This letter is part of a tablet called the Suriy-i-Haykal. It can be found in the compilation of tablets by Baha'u'lláh, The Summons of the Lord of Hosts. O Queen in London, incline thine ear unto the voice of thy Lord, the Lord of all mankind, calling from the divine lote tree. Verily, no God is there but me, the Almighty, the All-Wise. Cast away all that is on earth, and attire the head of thy kingdom with the crown of the remembrance of thy Lord, the All-Glorious. He in truth hath come unto the world in his most great glory, and all that hath been mentioned in the gospel hath been fulfilled. The land of Syria hath been honored by the footsteps of its Lord, the Lord of all men. And north and south are both inebriated with the wine of his presence. Blessed is the man that hath inhaled the fragrance of the Most Merciful, and turned unto the dawning place of his beauty. in this resplendent dawn. The mosque of Aqsa vibrated through the breezes of its Lord, the All-Glorious, whilst Batha, which is Mecca, trembleth at the voice of God, the Exalted, the Most High. Whereupon every single stone of them celebrated the praise of the Lord through this great name. He goes on to say, lay aside thy desire, and set then thine heart towards thy Lord, the Ancient of Days. We make mention of thee for the sake of God, and desire that thy name may be exalted through thy remembrance of God, the Creator of earth and heaven. He verily is witness unto that which I say. We have been informed that thou hast forbidden the trading in slaves, both men and women. This verily is what God hath enjoined in this wondrous revelation. God hath truly destined a reward for thee because of this. He verily will pay the doer of good his due recompense, wert thou to follow what hath been sent unto thee by him who is the all-knowing, the all-informed. As to him who turneth aside and swelleth with pride, after the clear tokens have come unto him from the revealer of signs, his work shall God bring to naught. He in truth hath power over all things. Man's actions are acceptable after his having recognized the manifestation. He that turneth aside from the true one is indeed the most veiled amongst his creatures. Thus hath it been decreed by him who is the Almighty, the most powerful. We will continue tomorrow looking at the continuation of this tablet to Queen Victoria by Bahá'u'lláh. I hope that today the peace will grow in your heart and that you will give it to everyone who crosses your path.